Guru Nation, I wanted to do this video on CROs because I did that one video where I said, hey, the next decade's all about clinical research. So these are some stocks that sell the shovels and the picks to the drug companies over the next decade. Gene therapy is going to be exploding. We're going to have rare disease. I mean, the industry, vaccines, a new paradigm for how to do vaccines. The industry is going to go absolutely nuts in this next decade. And some good plays are the CROs. And one of the very interesting things I found, and I'm going to share my screen. I didn't expect this because I have no preference over CROs. For those of you that know me, you know I have no preference. They're all the same. They're all the same. There's 5 major CROs that are publicly traded, and they are all the same. It is Syneos, who we will be reviewing today, IQVIA, PPD, Icon, and then Covance, which is actually owned by a lab, so it's not really fair to compare Covance to these. But basically, from the ones I mentioned, and I have IQVIA and PPD, and then I have Icon that we could look at as well. It's not worth looking at Icon because they just bought PRA, so the PE is going to be even higher. But what I found was Syneos. Syneos's price to earnings ratio is 39.55. Now, what does that mean? Well, to me, what that suggests is a couple of things. Either investors don't think they're not bullish on the company's future, or more likely, it's undervalued. So if you look at the PE for Syneos, it's 39.55. If you look at the market leader in the industry, IQVIA, the PE is 132. If you look at PPD, the PE is 99. Now, PPD has a $12.19 billion market cap. IQVIA is the industry leader at 36.3, and Syneos is at 7.5. So Syneos is on the small side, but they have room to grow. Okay, they are making all the right investments, in my opinion. They are on the virtual trials. Uh, you just saw um, Icon acquire at a premium PRA. We saw earlier INC Research and Inventive merging to become Syneos. And from the board of Inventive was one of the biggest shareholders of Syneos, which was John Maldonado, who owns a whole bunch of Syneos stock. Okay, and he recently, on March 5th, 2021, sold like 4.6 million shares, but he has so many. I mean, he has millions more. I'm going to be bullish on Syneos, but I do want to point this out because I want to make it balanced. Okay, I want to make it balanced because I've been trying to find out, well, why is Syneos so undervalued compared to IQVIA, PPD? Syneos Health identifies important drivers of change expected to disrupt healthcare. What's important is shared commitment to change. So this is going to be really the driving force behind this is the diversity, equality, and inclusion in clinical research. Syneos is doing a pretty good job. All the CROs are trying uh, uh, to attack this problem and to reduce disparities. And Syneos is doing a fairly good job at this. I would say maybe they're on the among the most progressive when it comes to this. So it's all about innovation in this case. Syneos bought Illingsworth Research, so expands the CRO base. So it's buying smaller CROs to acquire. In this case, Illingsworth Research offers trained research nursing services to the biopharmaceutical and medical device industries. It works on providing complementary patient-focused CRO services. So this is virtual trials, decentralized trials, stay-at-home trials, patient-centric. So they're getting involved in these kind of things. Amid the COVID-19 led changing health support situation where health is becoming more local, there has been a growing demand for in-home clinical trial services. So Syneos is they're trying to compete like IQVIA, like PPD, like Covance. So that I thought that was interesting. Compared to the aggregate PE ratio of 96.84 in the life sciences tools and services industry. Remember, by the companies that sell the tools. Syneos has a lower PE ratio, uh, and shareholders might be inclined to think the stock might perform worse than its industry peers. It's also possible that the stock is undervalued. So let's look at what's going on with this. And by the way, Syneos just bought Synteract as well, another contract research organization with derm, general medicine, neuroscience, oncology, pediatrics, and rare and orphan diseases. Remember, I said this next decade is going to be boosted by vaccines, by genetic therapy, and by rare and orphan diseases. So Syneos is making the right moves, and they're trying to be competitive. So I did a search, or just a quick. This is not going to be exact science, but I just wanted to get an overview of what's going on as far as market share. So on clinicaltrials.gov, I went and searched. I compared Syneos versus IQVIA versus Parexel. I didn't put icon and I didn't put PPD because you can't search that cleanly. And when you search just those 3 or 4 words or 3 or 4 letters, you're going to get a whole bunch of other stuff that's not related to those companies. So Syneos, IQVIA, and IQVIA, and Parexel were unique enough words to where that's not going to be accidentally a medical term or a biomarker or anything like that. So I just went on clinicaltrials.gov. I searched Syneos for recruiting and not yet recruiting studies. I found 28. I went to IQVIA, did the same thing. I found 54. Of course, they're doing more than this. This is just what popped up. 54. I went to check on Parexel. I found 66. And then I compared Covance and I found 55. So 55, 66, 54, and 28. So this could, I mean, we're not that far off. We're like half of the biggest, or less than half of IQVIA, and just about half of where the other ones are, more or less, right? Plus or minus 5. So is that PE ratio, is IQVIA's PE ratio is 132. So half of that is like 65 something. Syneos is 39. So even using just that basic, and this is not financial advice, but just that basic, like back of the napkin math, the PE, in my opinion, just going off of what's on clinicaltrials.gov, is slightly undervalued. And that's with Syneos not making any more acquisitions, no more investments in technology, no more diversity, equity, and inclusion, no more virtual trials. They're competing in these spaces. They're acquiring companies. They have earnings coming up between April 28th and May 3rd. So, look, I don't mind any of these CROs. I think they're all going to win in the next decade. Worst case scenario, I think Syneos gets acquired by one of these other big ones or gets taken private by one of these venture capital firms. So Advent, which is a private equity, is one of the largest shareholders of Syneos. So that's my opinion on Syneos. I think it's undervalued, even if it's just by a little bit, although I think it's undervalued by a lot more. But keep an eye on earnings. It's interesting to note that their quarter 4 earnings were in line with what they said. The margins were up, the profit margins were up. And what was interesting here was Syneos 2021, Syneos acquired Synteract last year. The company expects its full year revenues to be in the range of 5.125 million. So Syneos has upped its revenue outlook and initiated adjusted EPS guidance for the year 2021. So the company expects its full year revenues to be in the range of 5.125 million. This is billion. Up from the earlier issued guidance of 4.9 to 5.1, which excluded the announced acquisition of Synteract. So with Synteract and with the other at-home home health company that Syneos just acquired, Illingsworth Research, and who knows who else they're going to buy. Like all these CROs, they're on a buying spree, and there's consolidation going on like crazy. So again, in summary, all the publicly traded CROs, in my opinion, are good. I think you got to go by the PE ratio and what's undervalued, but then pay attention to why it's undervalued, because to me, that's also a bit of a red flag when it's that far off. So do your due diligence, check out why. Hopefully I can help you explore a little bit further, and hopefully this excites you to get interested in investing, because we all may work in the industry, or some of us may want to, but this is a way to get in on a piece of the action as well and to get more informed. If nothing else, you're going to get more informed. So thank you guys for watching, listening. Let me know your thoughts. Catch you later.